I give Marte two major edges that have nothing to do with development, though. Number one, he will more easily be able to make the transition to a position other than shortstop if necessary. He's a better athlete with easier, twitchier actions and has better feet. So if he has to move to third, if he has to move to second, if he has to move to left field, if he has to move to center field, whatever it is, he will more easily be able to do that. Now, Triunfel never really moved out of the middle infield for the most part. He didn't play long enough for that to become an issue. But it was probably going to be somewhat of an issue. He'd never really played anywhere else. But Marte is such a good athlete that you could throw him behind the dish and he'd probably learn to become passable over time. Number two, the swing leverage I mentioned a minute ago, it's natural. Marte's swing is natural. So there's more natural power, even though you could say Triunfel had 30-plus homer raw power potential. He did because he had big bat speed and the swing was short. But it was, I was having a conversation a couple of weekends ago about a guy who used to work for the High Desert Mavericks, and we were reminiscing about some of the players that came through, and we came upon Carlos Triunfel, and like some folks that don't study this sort of stuff and follow this sort of stuff don't understand why Carlos Triunfel didn't hit 25 bombs or something. But his swing was flat. His swing was so like Lou Marson for me, pretty much his entire career. And that's the biggest reason he never hit more than 10. I don't think he hit more than 10 homers in a season, in any season, minor league, split, major, whatever. So Marte has that advantage going from that. He doesn't have to make as many adjustments with that swing for that swing to be productive. Now, that doesn't mean they're not still going to tinker with it, that it's still not constantly evolving, because that's how this works. But he doesn't have as far to go. And if he left it alone in terms of swing playing alone, he's fine. And that's a pretty significant advantage to have. And thankfully, on top of that, the current staff has their silk together. I mean, Marte is in good hands, is what I'm saying. And yes, I think since Triunfel, Marte is easily the best international infield prospect in the system, and he may end up the best international signing, period, at any position not named Felix Hernandez in club history. And yes, that includes Julio Rodriguez. It's not crazy to think that Noelvi Marte will end up a better major leaguer than Julio Rodriguez. Now, Julio's up on him right now. I have Julio ranked number 2 behind Jared Kelenic in the system, and Marte is, well, he's down 4 or 5 spots, but Marte at the same age and level of opportunity has accomplished just as much on the field as did Julio Rodriguez. So it's not crazy to think that Marte will end up being the better player and therefore the better international signing.